Hi, welcome back. This is Heather Hope with Conscious Creating with Heather Hope. Okay, guys, happy Monday to you. Here comes Monday Mindset. I was just thinking, what is something really important? And so it hit me that let's talk about our inner conversations. So there's one thing that we all do. We all think to ourselves. Some of us talk to ourselves. I've always been a talk to myself person. I personally think it's because I was an only child, so I was the only one to talk to, so I talk to myself. I don't know. Let me know if you're a lot of you probably are only children since everyone is me pushed out in my reality. So many people are just like me. So and that you guys, a lot of you guys would be similar to each other and to me. So anyhow, so the way that we have inner conversations about things. So like I've talked about in the past, like one of my friends who makes up stories, like we all make up stories of like what we think is going on, what we think other people are thinking, what we think might happen after whatever. Like those are stories that we create, but that's the inner conversations that we have with ourselves. So the inner conversations of, thinking what you think is going to happen next. Or, especially if you have coworkers or a boss or whatever, like we do this thing all the time. So the key is the thing is that we create our reality based on the inner conversations that we have, the assumptions, right? The stories that we create, the conversations we create with ourselves, how we think or imagine or visualize things unfolding. Most often they do unfold in that way. And we're like, oh, I knew it. See, I told you. It's like, well, because you created it. That's why. So it's really important to catch the inner conversation. So I was just listening to a real quick clip from Neville Goddard and just talking about how this woman's relationship with her boss was awful, but it was because she was arguing with her boss in her mind when she was not at work. So their relationship went downhill. I can speak so much on this subject. I have a personal relationship that totally went to crap a few months ago. And it like hit me so hard. And it was right at the time I started learning all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally created this by all the years of talking like crap about someone. And the whole story, it's like this lifelong thing. And it's like, holy crap. It finally hit my reality of, it took many years of a poor story for this relationship to really go down south. And I'm like, oh, wow. So really pay attention to the things that you tell people, the things that you tell yourself, the conversations you have with other people in your own mind, the things that you're thinking about people, because all of that is eventually going to come true, 100%. So pay attention to all that, because that's how our reality unfolds. Like I truly believe, all we have is now, and whatever I think now is what comes true. So like we haven't talked too much about manifesting an SP yet, but one of the things, and it could be anybody. So I have been working on that relationship. So I have, specific people, right? Specific person. Does not have to be a love interest. It can be anybody. It can be your boss, your parents, whoever it is. So I have an SP that the relationship went to absolute crap. And I didn't know that it was happening. And so then it did. And I was like, oh my God, just went super south. So I'm like, okay, let's fix this. So, this is the time when my notifications start going off. As soon as I start being productive, it's one of those things, right? You detach from, because I sent out a bunch of messages to people, and so now they're all going to respond. It's like when I wake up from a nap, that's when my notifications start going off. Like people start responding to me. It was like while I was unconscious, all stuff stopped, right? That's what it feels like. So it's kind of freaky in my opinion. But anyway, so now that is a relationship that I am repairing through writing, scripting, visualizing, affirming, writing things down every day. Nearly every day I do this. It's not the most fun work in my opinion on this one, because it's not the fun stuff because it's just anyway. But I learned just firsthand how, all the stories I created about this person, kind of slightly bad talking this person once in a while, it eventually, and by my own actions as well, ignoring things, that and being a little bit fearful about circumstances. And then it all just went to a head and I was like, oh crap, let's fix this now, please, because it's not pleasant. My 3D sucked for a minute in one area. And so I'm like, okay, let's repair this relationship. Now that I know this whole Neville Goddard stuff, and and I learned part of it through Abraham Hicks, but it never hit me as much as it, as Neville teaches it, that everyone is you pushed out, and what you think about somebody is going to be pushed out in that way. And it was. So yeah, so I had to recreate the story and just keep playing it over and over in my mind daily as much as I can, and just keep moving forward and try to completely ignore all of that. Like, I don't talk about it at all. Like, this is the first time I've talked about it in probably, a few months for, out loud or to anyone, because I don't want to repeat the old story. Like, I want to keep affirming the new story is that we have an amazing relationship. We get along great. We always have, that sort of thing. Trying to revise it as well. That, that never happened. We're good now, anything I could, because I needed that to be repaired. It was vital for that relationship to repair because of my circumstances. So anyway, so watch your inner conversations you have, about everything. Whatever you're thinking is how your reality unfolds. So one of the things that I've learned is, like, I can be on the phone with someone and I can start affirming something about that person, about our relationship. And then it takes a turn in that direction, in that conversation. And I'm like, and I don't always think about it, but I try to think about it while we're talking. And then I notice it, because, when I'm in conversation, I don't really think about all the things that I'm really affirming about this person. And then it hits me. I'm like, oh yeah. Do some affirmations, like, like kind of telepathy type of thing and then it typically turns in that direction into something, that I had been affirming for. So I just see it all the time that the thoughts that I'm having today is unfolding my today. Like, majority of them, like, especially things that, I've had a lot of momentum with affirming throughout the day, is that, my day just keeps unfolding in that way. So it's not like this major future thing. Now, some of the things that have so much, from the past, that takes a little bit, I don't want to say it takes a little bit more time, but, or just awareness of my thoughts. So it's really fun to play with when you are on the phone or in person with somebody, and then you start having thoughts. Just start having deliberate thoughts on how you want that conversation to go, how you want that person to respond to you, and watch how they respond, because they will. If they don't do it in that moment or that conversation, they will eventually. But over time, the more you affirm certain things, the more you start believing it, the more you start assuming it, and then things will unfold in that direction. So vital for today, for every day. Watch your inner conversations with yourself regarding other things, other circumstances, other people, and make sure your conversations with yourself are in alignment, right? In line with the desires that you have. So making sure that, if you have like crap going on with your boss, that your inner conversations better start better start getting into an alignment with what you really want. Do you want a better relationship with your boss? Do you want them to treat you better? They will turn around real quick, but you have to do that work. Like, this is just the work that we all have to do, is just pay attention to our thoughts and put them in alignment with what we want. So yeah, very important stuff today. Let me know your experience with this. It's really amazing. It just, people pick up on it. Like, I had a really great relationship with someone a few months ago. We talked all the time. It was a great friendship. And then I just started learning, I just kind of got kind of like I want to say a grossed out feeling about something that, when you kind of learn more about somebody and then you're just like, gross. And then I started thinking negatively about this person. And then our relationship just like stalled completely. And we rarely ever talk to each other. And it's kind of sad because we got along so great. And, it's nice to have really cool friends. But, and then just one little thing stuck out, and it's like, it just kind of, I was being judgmental of that person's judgmentalness. So everyone is me pushed out. So I don't know. It just got wonky, and then it's just kind of stopped. I was like, well, oh well. Some things mean more to us than others, and it is what it is, in my opinion. And sometimes we just move on, and we're like, okay, that's okay. Maybe I'll clean up I try not to think any more negative thoughts or say anything negative about this person, because in the grand scheme of life, it's not that big of it's literally not a big deal. So I don't want to make it worse. I would like it to be better, because I'd like all my relationships to be amazing. All the people in my life, family, friends, whoever, I want them to all be amazing. I want them to think highly of me, so I have to think highly of them. Did you catch that? So I have to think highly of people, because if I don't, they're not going to think highly of me. So, because everyone is me pushed out. So, and everyone is you pushed out. So lots to learn here, right? Whew, but you turn into this amazing person. You turn into this person who is a magnet to people, this person that everybody caters to you. When you think highly of yourself and highly of others, people treat you so well. And that's so magical. It's so very magical. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Have an amazing, happy Monday, and I will be back Wednesday. Thanks, guys. Bye.